So here's the first round of my upgrade to my Mountain Mods rig. I went out and I bought an additional back panel with the two power supplies mounted on the bottom. The one I have now has a power supply mounted here, and I wanted the one with the two on the bottom so I could get the an ATX motherboard in. So I've got 10 PCI slots now, and I've just got a random back plate, and I've been using a random actually a micro ATX motherboard in here at the moment to kind of check out the clearances and stuff. But I've got the H100, I've got it mounted on the side there, so I've got it pulling in fresh air, and then I'm also going to have another fan here pulling in fresh air, so from the outside you won't even notice that there is an H100 in here, but I've got it pulling in here. And then I made a little gasket to make sure that these fans didn't, all the air, got pushed through the radiator here. So I'll have another fan pushing across. So I've got it pushing across here, and then I'm going to have this side pulling out to try to swing the air around and pull it out here. If not, the air will obviously get exhausted because I'm going to use slotted PCI slot covers so some of the air can make it out there. And this is something else I'm doing an experiment on to see if it makes a difference. But so far, it has, because I put an ATX motherboard in, and then I've got this fan down here, and this is basically right behind the processor socket. Obviously, this cutout is made to change the air cooling or water cooling setup for the rig. And so I put this 120 millimeter fan, drilled a couple of holes, put it on the back side here, and it actually is blowing up. And I did mount a ATX motherboard on top there and bolted it down, and then activated the fan, and you can actually feel underneath around the motherboard all the way even to back here. It's pushing air out all the way around. So not only is it cooling the backside of the CPU, it's also going to just move some air from underneath the board, and that's kind of an experiment to see if it makes any difference. I doubt it will, but every little bit helps. And then all of these fans I'm going to be controlling with a fan controller anyway, so even though there's an abundance of them in the Mountain Mods case, like my other setup, I'll be able to run them at high only when I want to. So this is, and I'm also trying out this padding, sound absorption padding. So I've padded it around, and then I've got some a power supply type, a silencer gasket that'll fit right in here and fit right in here. But I tried this padding around, got padding on the underside of the motherboard tray here to see if it actually works in deadening some of the sounds. That's another experiment of mine, and I got it real cheap at Frozen CPU. I think I bought, each kit was $1.99 plus shipping. They must be closing it out or something. So I figured I'd give it a shot for $1.99, and I've got plenty more pieces here, so I might do some on the sides, around maybe some of the fans. I don't know. I'll kind of play with it and see if I feel it even makes a difference. But obviously, the more surfaces you have it on, the better. As the sound bounces around, it'll be able to hit some kind of a stopping point instead of the metal just would reflect the sound. So I've also got some up here as well too. So anyway, that's the first start of my Mountain Mods upgrade, and as you can see here, I'm working on some cable management, some sleeving. I've sleeved a couple of these fans, because the way I've got it now is I'm going to have this part of the basement visible, and I want to make it look nice and tidy and be able to accent the SSDs over here and the hard drive setup that I'm using, because I'm going to use a two 2 terabyte hard drives as data, and I'm going to use two 128 gigabyte Samsung SSDs in a RAID 0. So I'll have a RAID 0 for the SSDs, a RAID 1 for the data drives, and that way I can kind of showcase them here in this window. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to mount everything, because the power supply will come out obviously a ways, and then I'm going to try to get everything in here, just see if I can make it work. Hopefully I can. That's still to be determined, because obviously the front of the case is here, so the drive bays will extend down here as well too, for the front drive. So anyway, that's just a quick look. Actually, we're 5.5 minutes into it. It's a little bit longer than a quick look, but a look at any rate into my next upgrade or project build.